What's going on, guys? Brandon here from Gearist. Today we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the Z1 bike helmet from Lazer. You know, you don't get to be the oldest anything in the world without doing things right. And so we are excited to take a look at this helmet from Lazer, being that this Belgian-born company, Lazer Sport, is the oldest helmet company in the world. So now let's get into this pro-level lid and break down exactly what it's all about. Built using a 4-part in-mold construction, this helmet really seems to take into consideration comfort and safety from the get-go. Now, the first thing about that comfort is that this thing rocks a total of 31 vents. You can see kind of in between these black lines there, segmented vents within there. 31 vents on this front and back to have good airflow and exhaust out the back of the helmet intake on the front of the head. Second, and one of the coolest things about Lazer helmets is their Rollsys fit system. Now, whereas on most helmets you're going to have that little dial wheel right back here, kind of at this notch on the back of the skull, this uses this crown roll system helmet. So I'll hold it up to the camera there. This is where you adjust the tension on the helmet, the retention system that goes around the head. It's very lightweight in this model. In previous models, it was kind of built into the frame of the helmet more, and here they've gotten rid of some excess material so you can actually see the exposed roll system there. This slims down and shaves some weight on this helmet, but it also has replaced the cable that they used to tighten the retention system with a nylon band that fully encompasses the head. So as you do this, it really hugs the head in a 360-degree manner. The interior padding of the Z1 is really well placed, and as evidence to that, there are only 2 little cushions that stick in there. There's one right up here in the forehead, and then there's one right on top of the crown. Now, both of those pieces are placed to work with the vents, obviously not cover anything, but it's really astounding how you can have only 2 pretty minimal little padded areas and still have such a comfortable fit. The straps on the Z1, which are a little salty from previous rides because we really test these things out, these are actually adjusted by this thing right here. This is the tri-guide system. Now, in a lot of other helmets, you'll notice there's a buckle that you undo and then you have to slide it around. This is no buckle. It just slides up and down the straps depending on where you want it to go. Super easy adjustability, really makes this thing very convenient. I love that because it's single hand adjustment as you pull down. And it sort of reminds me actually of the specialized tri-fit system that they use because it's just much simpler. That buckle thing kind of sometimes can be a little, there's so much adjustability to it, and it just getting one helmet side to be the same as the other is often tricky. In this case, one hand adjustment, really like that. 3 things that I think are really going to stand out to people about this helmet are their Aeroshell, their T-Pro construction, and their integration with Lazer's their Magneto M1 sunglass, which we're going to get to in a second. First, let's talk about the Aeroshell, and that is this guy right here. This is a super thin, lightweight piece of plastic material, TPU, that goes on over top of this guy right here. Just like this. You put it there, you push it down, and it snaps into place. Now it's on. Now what this does, while the first thing that's most obvious is that it's going to keep weather off your head. So if it's cool like it is right now, we're getting into winter, and in the spring it's going to be great for spring riding and things like that. It's going to keep a lot of that cool air where you don't necessarily want to be bombarded by a lot of ventilation. You want to keep some of that warmth in there. It's going to keep that happening, and it's also going to make sure that rain and snow and things like that mainly stays off the front of your head. Another thing, and while I haven't seen any actual drag coefficients or data to support this, Lazer themselves says, as well as me seeing a lot of people in the pro peloton wearing this even on sunny days, says that there is a decrease in drag with this. You can see there are no vents that are going to create that drag. This is actually going to help funnel air more efficiently over the top of the helmet. I'd love to see some data on that, so if you guys know of any, please leave a comment down in the comment section below. And while we're at it, why don't you go ahead and like and favorite this video and subscribe to our channel so you can see all of our updates. Now, the T-Pro construction I mentioned a second ago is actually an extension of the construction of the helmet itself. So I'll go ahead and put it on to show you guys what I'm talking about. This thing has actually extended these little pieces right here that come down over the temples to better protect that area. Now, one of the things that I was worried about in hearing about this or reading about it and seeing it initially was that it might decrease the field of vision, but it doesn't at all. It's really fantastic, and we're going to talk about the sunglasses that really complement this well in a second. But as you can see, I can look really hard like this and cannot see these temple pieces. Even if I'm looking up here, I can barely see the outline one, so it really keeps your field of vision nice and wide open while still extending that protection down to the temples. Now, of those 3 key points I mentioned a second ago, the final one I'm going to mention is the Magneto M1 sunglass. This guy right here. Now, what's interesting about this is, as you can see, there are no stems really, no arms on these helmets. So what's really very, very cool about that is that, number one, I should mention, these do come with arms. You can add these stems so you can actually wear them as regular sunglasses. However, when they integrate with this helmet, here is how it works. On the side of each of these guys, you can see these 2 little magnets right there. Now, those magnets coincide with this little thing that's right here about the temple. This is a movable and removable, so you can actually wear this system with other helmets if you want to. You can remove this and move it up and down the strap depending on where you want to. And what happens is these guys go on your face and they snap right onto those magnets. So there are your sunglasses, fully integrated into the helmet just like that. Now, those 2 magnets mean that you can adjust a little farther back and farther forward depending on how your face works. But what's really interesting to me about this is just how comfortable they are, because now no longer do you have a stem going back here over the ear. You can easily swipe sweat away there very easily, which I really liked. I'm a heavy sweater. If you guys have heard me talk on this channel before, you know that already. But what if you want to take them off? Now, the one thing that I was worried about is that when I take them off to wipe sweat away off my eyebrows or what have you, when you have stems, you can really kind of put your hand through those arms and hold on to the glass as well or something like that. But with this, what are you going to hold on to? Well, Lazer has thought of that, and this is one of the coolest parts, is that right back here on the back of the helmet, right there, you can see one there, and then around here on the other side, these are a place which is completely ready to hold these glasses. All you do is flip those glasses around the back side of your head, and there you go. They sit there right on the back of the helmet. They're out of the way. They don't hang down onto your neck, so your neck gets them all sweaty and blurry and things like that. It's just nice and out of the way. And when you're ready to put them on again, you just reach around, pull them off, and put them right back on. A really, really fantastic system. As for the glasses themselves, one of the coolest parts is that they are frameless, so there's no frame to really gather sweat or anything like that. Fantastic field of vision, which again complements that T-Pro construction very, very well. But what about performance? Well, first let's talk about comfort. Now, I wore this for a large portion of the summer, and even on some really, really hot days, which we do get here in the Boulder area, this thing really kept me very well ventilated, and I never even had to remove it on hotter climbs. With some helmets, I do find myself removing them just for comfort's sake, and certainly I could have done this with this, but I didn't feel the need to. It felt very comfortable, and those 2 pads, just the 2 pads inside, was again very remarkable in that it kept me comfortable and the helmet didn't get any hot spots on my head or anything like that. Now, that fit system, the Rollsys fit system right here, felt very, very nice on the head. It allows such micro adjustment because there's no like tick, tick, tick as you go. It's just all kind of this continuity of tension kind of coming over the thing. And you've got micro adjustment right here above the crown so you can adjust it properly to sit on your head exactly which way is most comfortable for you. Now, again, that integration with the Z1 sunglass is something that I really liked a whole lot. It's very comfortable. There's totally great field of vision with a graduated kind of a gradient of tint on these glasses, and they do have different tints that you can get and things like that. The one thing, again, as I mentioned earlier, that's a little bit sketchy to me is that if your hands get sweaty, and I am a heavy sweater, so if your hands get sweaty and all this and you go to take them off, it just worried me every now and then. I never dropped them, even over the months of testing that we used this, but when you grab them, if your hands are sweaty, there's the kind of theory that you could drop them. That scared me a little bit. So it's getting them from here to the back of the helmet while riding the bike without, being able to grip the handlebars or anything like that. That kind of sketched me out a little bit. But again, I never dropped them, and once you've got them back there, they're very out of the way and they're not going to get all sweaty and things like that. This is not a deal breaker, it's just something to be aware of, so when you do take them off, either the back or the front, you grip them very well. Now, the last thing I'll mention about this is the weight. This comes in at 190 grams or 6.7 ounces in a size small. And in my large, it comes in at 275 grams or 9.7 ounces. Still a very, very light helmet. This keeps it even more comfortable as you're riding. And when riding, this guy right here, the Aeroshell, adds about 1.5 ounces, so it's really not very heavy. It goes about to 11.3 ounces or so total with this Aeroshell and the helmet combined in my size large. So very, very comfortable. This isn't going to add a bunch of weight, and if you're trying to get away from the weather and get a little more aero, it may be worth that 1.5 ounces of weight. The Lazer Z1 is a no-joke pro peloton level lid, and you may have seen it on people such as Andre Greipel and things like this in the Pro Tour last year, and you're likely going to see it for many years to come. Super comfortable. Now, while it is an expensive helmet, it comes at $270. That is no more expensive than any of its peers at that high level of helmet. In addition to that, the bells and whistles that it offers with the T1 construction, the adaptation with the M1, the Magneto M1 sunglasses, and the Aeroshell, it's probably going to be worth it because it's going to throw a lot of things at you that you won't have to buy as After Effects later. Now, those glasses do not come with it. They are a separate purchase, but you can check all these things out down in some of the buy links below. Now, don't go anywhere because we got our question of the day coming up, but first, please, again, like and favorite this video, guys. We're trying to get our subscribership up there by the end of the year, and so we need your help. Now for the question of the day. When you're shopping for a bike helmet, do you do so in looking for a mountain and road helmet, like one helmet that can handle both things, or do you go and you look for separate helmets? You get a road helmet, you get a mountain helmet for very different activities or what have you. Let us hear your answer down in the comments section below. Now, guys, don't forget our Ask Gearist segment, where if you've got any questions for me, for us here at Gearist, or any of our panel of experts, just let us know by either emailing info@gearist.com, visiting gearist.com, or leaving a comment down below. We'd be happy to get back to you as soon as we can. Also, please don't forget to follow us on all of our social media outlets, which you can see over here to my right, your left, including subscribing to this channel by clicking that YouTube button right there. That would be a huge help, and we thank you guys so much. And you can also communicate with us. If you're taking pictures on Instagram and Twitter, we want to see them, so be sure to use the hashtag ImAGearist, ImAGearist. Send it out to us. We'd love to see it and include it in some upcoming features. Thank you guys so much for spending a few minutes with us today, and we will see you next time.